Hello there everyone, welcome to the new YouTube video where we talk a little bit about what's happening in the week of January 19th. Lot of developments have happened, lot of news that is there. We do a newsletter every Monday and here is the summary of the latest things that are happening and what is our perspective upon that. So we have seen that there is a lot of investments in AI sandboxes for the last couple of years, but now we are looking into how we are moving from this sandboxes to actually using AI in factories, in plants, wherein you get a lot of value that is there. So this is the one of the themes that we are seeing in 2026, where we see AI moving from digital toys to industrial power, and lot of industries are now incorporating AI that is there. So what I see that lot of companies before they were not getting that much incentive to get digitalized, but now because of AI they're seeing that they need to first fix their digital aspect wherein they have the data, but how they are structuring the data from different SDCs and then taking that and then using it to use for forecasting, and that is there. So we have seen a lot of testing, lot of prototyping, writing a poem. Most of us, when we started using ChatGPT, that was our start, wherein we asked the specific question and then we got this specific answer. But now we are moving away from implementing these type of AI learnings in actual industries, which is controlling these types of robotic machines that is there. So the nature of prompt has actually changed and we are moving away, and this is not a small software update, it is a huge graduation. And here you can see that the objective is no longer to just generate and test ideas, but to execute active and real world tasks that are there. Now look into this perspective. There is a talk about a new user interface that has been happening. The new user interface, most of us before they have seen that it is moving away from the text language models, the LLMs, to the GUI, which is the graphic user interface, where the model looks at the screen what is there and then it is able to analyze and use some visual models that is there. And Anthropic has launched something called as Anthropic's Labs, which is led by Instagram co-founder himself, Mr. Mike, and this signals a huge shift towards spending in this new ecosystem of GUI, which is very much different from how we used to use APIs and how you used to use data. And this is the new user interface that companies are spreading about. So one thing that to break this particular API wall, we have seen that there are so many ways to connect to multiple softwares. I had talked about this in our few master classes. There is N into M integration problem. So this rigid API integration is getting solved by MCP. This is the Model Context Protocol, and we are seeing a huge investment in this space as well. Anthropic had initiated this, but every company is now adopting this. And historically, developers required specific code for every action. It was rigid, slow and expensive, but now as you see, the vision is towards putting everything in a proper protocol. And this is a secure universal language, allowing the AI to understand the context and move from this active windows without snooping on the private data that is there. And now one more lot of news that is coming about. There is a talk between a company called Boston Dynamics and Google DeepMind, the one who were the inventors of the Gemini model. There has been a collaboration, a partnership, and there is a new model in discussion that is called VLA. This is called as a visual language action model. Not only the camera that will look into it, so the brain of this whole project that we are seeing is developed by the Google DeepMind, but the body, the hands, is by Boston Dynamics Atlas. So this is both the powers combined is going to give the power of these physical AI, the bots to actually do the things that we are having. And this is there is a news that if one robot like this learns from a human, then all the robots will be able to take that learning and do it. So you don't need to train every robot, just train one robot properly to do it. It mimics all the actions, like picking up a banana, and it will take all the learnings and put it in such a way that can be transferred to all the new Boston Dynamics robots that are getting created. And this is very, very powerful. A robot can now here pick that up, analyze the room, and calculate the motor function required to execute any specific task that it is getting designed to do. Now, to do all these things, right, to do all these things that we are doing, why is all the Fortune 500 companies investing billions of dollars in AI? Not just to play around with ChatGPT for creating a joke, but to actually move this whole thing to in the physical AI space. And this physical AI is scaling up to manage this whole entire system. Envision has launched Dub. This is an AI designed not to predict words, but to predict and control the flow of this gigawatts of electricity, because at the end of the day, electricity is required to do all these things that are there. So lot of investment is going on there, and Dub is as a new initiative to manage this instability of renewable energy grids while simultaneously handling the massive power demands of the AI data centers themselves. So this is the huge foreplay to need this, and to do this particular thing there is a gigawatt scale, and this has been announced in the UAE in the couple of months that they are going to have this thing called as a Stargate project, a massive 1 gigawatt type of project. Actually the gigawatt project that they are trying to wait is, the first one is 1 gigawatt, which is equal 20 times more than the biggest data center that is there in the US right now, which is just 50 megawatts. So 1 gigawatt is 1000 megawatts. So Stargate that they are building in the UAE is 20 times larger, and this, to have such a huge data center being getting powered, you need to not only use proper electrical conventional type of power, but nuclear power to scale these types of particular initiatives that are there. And now the one thing that we see, everything is doing good. One another news that is happening this last week basically was something called as the hitting the memory wall. As you see, more and more data is going in, more and more context is going in, but the demand for the hardware has hit a very physical limit known as the memory wall, the bottleneck between GPU processing power and the memory capacity. And now the industry is splitting into two competitive strategies to overcome this problem. The first strategy is the rich strategy, which companies like OpenAI, Microsoft, and all these big companies who have billions of dollars, they throw capital at the problem. They buy more increasingly powerful GPUs, and the Nvidia stock goes up. And as it is, the second one is the efficient strategy, because at the end of the day you cannot keep on throwing money in GPUs and doing this particular problem. It cannot be feasible. So the efficient strategy that DeepSeek, and I will see in the future a lot of other companies are going to adapt, is the Ngram architecture to organize the data effectively, cramming more context into the same memory to take better and efficient manner. Because at the end of the day, they don't have that much budget like the US companies like OpenAI, and they don't have access to the chips as well. So now coming to all these issues that you see, we see that there are two major players in the space of AI and technology. One is US and another is China. But UAE and Saudi are positioning themselves strategically because they feel that data is the new oil. The price is no longer oil but the computational power. So we are watching the geopolitical get drawn around accesses to chips. The UAE has joined something called as a PAX, which is a alliance with the US, wherein they will have a very good partnership, so that they are in priorities to get the chips to build these type of data centers. Because end of the day, to power all this AI, these companies have the countries have understood that they need to build these type of data centers. The data centers requires two things. The power is already there in this region. They have amazing nuclear plants. They have a lot of capacity to generate a lot of power. But the only thing that is the bottleneck is the chips, which this particular packs will solve it as well. And now one thing that we are seeing also in the news, a lot of debates are happening by the thought leaders, is one is the black box, the closed source, that is like OpenAI and the proprietary models and the frontier models, that is controlled by a handful of US corporations like OpenAI. And then there is another thing, is the glass box. The glass box is something like the Linux moment of AI, we call it. And for many nations, the open source is about sovereignty. Sovereignty is running cutting edge AI on a secure local server. So for many nations outside US, the open source is about making sure that whatever they are running is running on their own hardwares, on their own platforms, that they have internal control in their country on local servers, which is very, very free from foreign control. It's not that one day US just decides to block, and this happened in few countries that are there, that OpenAI just decided that they are not going to give accesses, and all their projects that they were doing got stopped. So this is something that companies and businesses should also have in their policy to figure it out. Now, one thing that all of us are knowing, that AI is not cheap. Running a ChatGPT prompts and getting the input and output costs a lot of money. The astronomical cost of the infrastructure means that the investors are demanding some returns, and the economical model is crystallizing into a tiered system. If recently OpenAI has announced that it is going to charge their free and ChatGPT Go members, there are going to be ads that are going to be shown. So for the premium tier, there's going to be more privacy is going to be there, more security is going to be there, and there is going to be ad free. There's no ads, nothing that is going to be happen. But for the free tier, to maintain the free tier, because 95% of the people are still on the free tier, they are going to get some ads just to make sure everything is done. How is it going to affect the experience? We are going to see. OpenAI has just released that they have started testing it publicly now in small beta, but when it is going to get public, we will update the community. Now handing over, just to summarize all the news that had happened in the last couple of days, is we are moving away from chips, from these sandboxes, to putting that on the physical AI to get things done, for robots to actually mimic industry workers and do specific tasks. And to run these things, what we are seeing, that we need a lot of infrastructure, not only power but also chips, data centers, because that is what powers all these things that we are talking. And then how countries are positioning itself geopolitically to develop this AI capability. And in the coming few years, we will see that a lot of countries are going to increase their AI capability through all these aspects, so that they have some mover advantage. So this is what I wanted to share with all of you. Thank you for listening to us. If you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube, please do that. This was a very good summary of our LinkedIn newsletter that we keep running every week, and just sharing different things that are happening that made to the news. And take this learning, try to see what you are doing and how you can position your work, your career roadmap, and your businesses using these latest advantages and news. Have a great day, and see you in the next